Okay, here's a fun game. Imagine you wake up one morning and 30% of everyone you know is just gone. Your neighbors, your colleagues, your local barista. A third of your entire world vanished in 2 years. You'd call that an apocalypse. In 1347, they called it Tuesday. The Black Death was the single deadliest event in human history relative to world population. In 4 years, 1347 to 1551, it killed somewhere between 75 and 200 million people. In Europe alone, it wiped out between one-third and one-half of the entire population. Let that number sit for a second. 1 in every 2 people around you, dead. And nobody knew why. No germ theory, no microscopes, no concept of bacterial infection. Just people are dying, horribly, quickly, and getting closer. The symptoms were, to put it mildly, not subtle. Swollen black lumps in the armpits and groin, the buboes that gave the plague its name. Fever, vomiting blood, skin turning black from internal bleeding. Death usually within days. Medieval doctors, and I use the term loosely, had theories. Bad air, planetary alignment, God's punishment, Jewish people poisoning the wells. This one got people killed, history's worst wrong answer. The actual culprit? Yersinia pestis, a bacterium, carried by fleas, hosted by rats, arriving in Europe on merchant ships from the Black Sea. Globalization, 1347 edition. The disease moved along trade routes with eerie efficiency. Constantinople, Sicily, Italy, France, England, Scandinavia, marching north and west across Europe at the pace of human commerce. Entire villages emptied. Priests refused to give last rites, too afraid to approach the dying. Bodies piled in streets because there weren't enough living people to bury the dead. One chronicler described it simply: in the morning, there were still people alive. By evening, none. But here's where the story gets strange. The Black Death was a catastrophe. It was also, in a deeply uncomfortable way, a turning point. Because when half your workforce dies, the other half suddenly has leverage. For centuries, European peasants had almost no rights. Land was owned by lords. Labor was essentially owned by lords. You worked, they profited. That was the deal. After the plague, lords were desperate for workers. Workers knew it. Wages rose, serfdom began to collapse. Peasants who survived could negotiate or just leave in ways they never could before. The labor market, accidentally created by mass death. The church also took a hit it never fully recovered from. When the prayers didn't work, when the priests died alongside everyone else, when God, by all appearances, was not listening, people started asking questions. Not loudly, not immediately, but the seed of doubt was planted. The Renaissance, the explosion of art, science, and humanist thinking that followed, emerged from a Europe that had been forced to confront the complete inadequacy of its existing explanations. When everything fails, you build something new. The Black Death didn't just kill people, it killed a worldview. And from the ruins of that worldview came the modern world, which is a very dark origin story. But then most good origin stories are.